From Duke standout to NBA hopeful, this season many eyes will be on Tyrese Proctor, Cleveland's 2025 second-round selection. Can he carve out a role on a stacked Cavaliers roster? Today we break down his strengths, challenges, and potential impact in year one. But before we do your boy a favor and smash that like button, subscribe to keep the NBA content coming, and hit that notification bell so you stay locked in all offseason. Let's dive in. Background and profile. First, the basics. A little bit of background on the youngster just in case you've been living under a rock or something. Tyrese Proctor is a 6'5" combo guard who hails from Australia. He played 3 seasons at Duke, where in his junior season he averaged 12.4 points, 3 rebounds, and 2.2 assists, shooting 45.2% overall and 40.5% on three-pointers. The Aussie was named 3rd team All-ACC this past season and had previously earned All-ACC All-Freshman Team honors back in 2023. He actually led Duke with 89 made three-pointers during the course of the 2024-25 campaign, and he aided Duke in capturing 2 ACC tournament titles in his college career. He was known for many things at the collegiate level, but above all, Duke coaches and scouts praised his shooting stroke, off-ball movement, and basketball IQ, all of which were visible out on the court. No doubt a huge reason why the Cavaliers decided to buy stock in him. Strengths. Let's talk about what the rookie excels at. You know, his strengths. And right up at the top is the skill that more than likely got him drafted 49th overall in the first place. Perimeter shooting. His marksmanship. His ability to drain the perimeter shot. Proctor has an extremely smooth release and should be able to get his shot off with relative ease at the NBA level. His calling card will most likely be his off-ball movement and shot making, which directly led to him being a menace as a catch and shooter. As mentioned before, he drilled 40.5% of his triples on great volume at roughly 5.8 attempts per game in his final season at Duke. His 89 triples were the 3rd most in the ACC. You've already seen how impactful of a perimeter shot he can be thanks to his time at this year's NBA Summer League, where he knocked down 3 or more triples in 3 of his 4 appearances. Now, it wasn't the most efficient showing, as he posted averages of 17.2 points and 3.8 assists while shooting just 36.1% from the field, including 29.4% from distance overall, but clearly this is a young prospect that can scorch the twine, especially in the right scenario. Proctor profiles more as an off-ball guard to begin his NBA career, and I do believe that is exactly how Cleveland could choose to use him early on. Now, I must admit, when he was drafted, I felt that he would be a Sam Merrill replacement potentially, but that thought process was soon dashed as Merrill was re-signed and Ty Jerome was let go. But the beauty in his addition is that instead of being thrown into the proverbial fire and being asked to contribute to a championship contending team, Proctor will have the opportunity to be brought along slowly and carefully. They will make use of his ability to knock down the perimeter shot in due time, perhaps even earlier than expected. Look, I am trying extremely hard not to overreact, but Tyrese Proctor balled out and looked every bit worth the pick the Cavaliers used to select him against the Chicago Bulls. He ran the floor, he showed flashes of on-ball creation with multiple pull-up triples, he made timely reads in the passing game, even hitting Luke Travers for a beautiful cut to the basket. He hit shots off screen action. The man just looked the part of an NBA role player.
Being a part of Rick Carlisle's rotation down the stretch. Boy, does
Playmaking and basketball IQ. Tyrese Proctor will never likely be a floor general. That just isn't his style of play, but he can operate as a secondary ball handler for his teams. He has a solid understanding of what is going on around him, can reliably operate as the initiator in the pick and roll game, shows a solid level of floor vision, and makes decisive and timely reads with the ball in his hands without dribbling the air out of the ball. He was pretty judicious with the rock. Proctor is rarely seen forcing the issue and typically makes smart, low-risk decisions that are within the flow of the offense. These were all massive reasons why he was able to turn in a career 2.33 assist to turnover ratio. He finished the 2024-25 season with 85 total helpers across 38 appearances. And while I do not expect him to be a higher volume secondary creator at the pro level, I can absolutely see him functioning as a Max Strus level ball handler out there. He's just a connective tissue. Defensive effort. I'll cut to the chase. At least defensively speaking, Tyrese Proctor is not likely to earn all defensive honors anytime soon, but he does profile as a solid perimeter defender at the NBA level. On paper, at least. He is indeed a long-arm defender who tends to play with heart, hustle, and effort when defending on ball or chasing his assignments off of it. He was measured at around 6'5" and sports a wingspan of 6'7.25, 20th among the 37 guards that were measured at the NBA Draft Combine. Not exceptional, but still pretty solid given his size. He uses that size and wingspan to contest shots and clog the passing lanes. He has actually proven to be more effective against wings and larger guards rather than against quick, shifty ball handlers. This likely means that from a matchup standpoint, we could see him defending 2s and 3s rather than point guards. Very similar to what we see from our very own Sam Merrill. Weaknesses. At rim finishing. Upon watching a solid amount of film on Proctor, one of the things that becomes apparent rather quickly is that he is a below average rim finisher. At least he was at the college level. He struggled to finish through contact around the rim. Simply put, he is a below rim player despite his solid height. The Duke product just doesn't have that burst needed to create separation at the point of attack and therefore doesn't explode at the basket. He's far more finesse than pure power in terms of driving the basketball. Per synergy, he managed to only make 49.3% of his layups in his final season at Duke. That said, he did showcase an ability to finish things out in transition at the Summer League level and against the Chicago Bulls. This will continue to be an area to keep an eye on. He's going to have to rely more on craftiness rather than sheer athleticism. And speaking of that, athleticism, this goes hand in hand with my previous statement. He doesn't have burst, lacks top tier speed and first step quickness, and just doesn't have the level of vertical pop needed to collapse a defense inside with dribble drives. It's probably what ends up affecting his finishing the most. This lack of athleticism shows itself on the other end of the court as well. While he tends to hold up well in terms of team defense, the lack of burst means that he cannot reliably recover against smaller, quicker guards most of the time and just doesn't offer much in regard to disruption on this end. Role. Look, I'll be blunt, Tyrese Proctor is indeed fighting an uphill battle in regard to playing time in year one. He has a lot working against him, and ultimately there are obstacles that he must move past. First off, Cleveland's backcourt is absolutely stacked. You've got Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, the starters and 2 all-star caliber guards at that. There are veterans like Max Strus and Sam Merrill, and last but certainly not least, the Cavs' prized acquisition of the offseason, Lonzo Ball. All of these guys are competing for guard minutes. Now, there will undoubtedly be some spillover into the small forward as many of these players can line up at the 3, but even with that being the case, Proctor has the most hill to climb. He is presumptively the low man on the totem pole. The role vacated by Ty Jerome is likely to be filled, and so too is the back end of the rotation. This leads me to believe that we should expect limited minutes for Proctor early on. It likely amounts to spot duty and blowouts or on nights when the stars rest, such as back-to-backs. In the recent news of Lonzo Ball's game management, as well as the uncertainty around Max Strus's timetable and whether or not Darius Garland will be available at the start of the season, there remains a chance that he sees the court earlier than expected. If he is to carve out a role eventually on such a deep roster, he'll need to show that he can hold up defensively at the NBA level while also displaying a reliable enough shooting stroke under pressure to expand his role. Now, as mentioned before, he will likely begin his NBA career off ball, and as long as he can knock down the open 3 and keep his assignments honest and in front of him, he can earn a spot before too long. His debut against the Chicago Bulls only further illustrates the belief that Cleveland placed in him was valid. He looks the part, just gotta be patient. Prediction. So what is a realistic outlook for Tyrese Proctor heading into the 2025-26 season? Honestly, I think it's a relatively straightforward one. I expect a deep reserve role, something in the neighborhood of maybe 7 to 10 minutes per night. And I will put myself on record as saying that I think we will see him pop in 1 to 2 standout performances this year when opportunity strikes, probably on the latter half of a back-to-back. If he nails his threes, plays with energy on defense, and takes care of the ball, he could emerge as a hidden gem in Cleveland's rotation, a potential steal, at least in the near future. From a statistical standpoint, I think we will get something in line with what we got from CBJ this most recent season. I'm going to predict a stat line of 3.9 points, 1 rebound, and 1.1 assists while completing 42% of his field goals and 38% of his triples. This is a hard one to predict given the circumstances, so time will indeed tell. Long term, if he rounds out his playmaking and adds strength, he could develop into a 3-and-D swing guard in time, a valuable piece for any contending team. But for now, the goal is simple. Get on the floor, make plays, and show he belongs. Here's what to watch for Tyson in his rookie year. Shooting splits. Can he sustain 40% from 3 at the next level? Turnover rate and decision making when asked to run the offense. Can he be decisive with the ball in his hands? Defensive matchups. Will he be trusted with tougher assignments, especially at the 1 and 2 as opposed to the 2 and 3? His performance in what we call spotlight games when starters rest. Those moments could define how much time he gets during his rookie season. What do you think, Cavs fans? Can Tyrese Proctor carve out a bigger role in his rookie season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Cavs content all season long. As always, go Cavs.
Individual 4-0 run. Proctor on the cross. Miller's right with him. Step back. And he got it.
Big time move right there. Rookie Proctor.